Welcome back, my name is LastKnownMeal and today we have a lot to talk about regarding Cyberpunk 2077. On this year's CD Projekt yearly Polish community meeting we learned a lot of valuable information regarding the game. Luckily for us, a user by the name of Shavod who attended the meeting gave us a huge list of things he learned. They first watched the gameplay, then they had a Q&A and also had a quiz. There were even some rewards, which is really cool. So let's start with the news about the story of the game. Remember when Johnny said, "Wake up samurai, we have a city to burn"? That wasn't a figure of speech. When someone asked if we could actually burn it, the response was of course. So it does seem that something is going up in flames. In the terms of length, we learned that the game will be shorter than The Witcher 3, but it will make up to it by high replayability. Keep in mind, this isn't measured in everything the game has, they're only comparing the main story and major side quests. The Witcher 3 had a lot of pacing issues, especially with the story at the beginning, so for a lot of people that was a somewhat of a downer, but they worked on that, and even though the game itself is shorter, is going to be packed with a lot more content than The Witcher on the map itself. They also mentioned loot system and the difference between useful and useless loot. Usually in games you have junk and miscellaneous items you will never use or just sell. That's why CD Projekt wants to take useless items and kinda make sense with it to expand the world building of the game by including as a part of the loot things, that make sense for the location we are exploring or enemies we are fighting. So the loot that is supposed to be in one part of the map is going to be there and, for example, not on the other part. This makes sense. If you remember in Skyrim when you were exploring a 2000 years old crypt and you find fresh apples, maybe avoid that in Cyberpunk 2077, so hopefully that is also revised. Also, on the question if you will be able to continue playing the game after the end, the answer was yes. They found a really cool way of doing that, which is strange because it seems that it's not going to be a standard, game after the ending. Maybe we become AI or something. This is just speculation, wild speculation. I'm not sure how is that going to work, because they found a cool way of doing that, so I'm really interested. Also, during the dialogue, if you are taking your sweet time to answer, an NPC is going to react to that, so better think quickly. I don't know if there is any penalty if you don't answer a dialogue option, if it's not, a time trial. We'll see. Now, side quests have also been reimagined in a way because in The Witcher 3 the quest structure was like a single line which branches out as you progress. In Cyberpunk there will be a lot more branches and quests kinda connect with one another, in other activities, in other side quests, even the main story. So every decision you make, no matter how small in a side quest, which is also kinda not important, will be for the rest of the story. They are really going in detail when it comes to this game. That's why they say that every single playthrough is going to be different in a sense. Now we move on to the gameplay segment. First, we learned that locations generally won't be locked out depending on your choices, but some areas will be hard to visit if, for example, we are not aligned with that group or they hate us. So it's kind of a logical thing, but there won't be a physical barrier in most of the areas. We are free to explore and play the game as we want. They were also asked about car customization. They said that they're getting this question a lot, but they're still not ready to answer it, so more patience on that, which means it either wasn't an original plan probably, but might be included either at the start of the game or in one of the updates or expansions, or they're just testing the customization and they're still not ready to talk about it in a sense. Also, regarding the apartment, it is going to change depending on our life path and the choices you make during the game. And there will be a lot of mechanics that are tied to that apartment, which will allow us to express the personality of our V, probably with upgrades and interior design, as well as to fill that wall of weapons with weapons. We also learned how health regeneration is going to play out. We will be able to restore it with food and drug inhalers. Some will replenish straight away, some will over time, We will also have cyberware for health regeneration, but that will also take a slot where we could put a more useful cybernetics, so you have to decide what works for you the best and what do you actually need for your character and your playstyle. When it comes to car physics, they're aiming for a more realistic level than GTA, although it won't be on simulation level, so some arcadiness is there, which is good. I mean, always find a sweet spot. Night and day cycle is fluid and does change the game. Some areas will be less or more guarded depending on the part of the day, and because NPCs are acting like, normal humans now, they have their own schedule and work, sleep cycle. Regarding the difficulty of the game, they really want to include as many options as they can, but because of the scope of the game, they can't promise anything, so if it doesn't arrive now, more difficulty options could arrive in later updates. Also, reaching borders of the playable world will act the same as in The Witcher. You get a notice. If you don't turn, the game will force you to turn. Now we come to the police part, or the wanted system, and how it's going to work in the game. So the police is there, but keep in mind, every district is different. Some are guarded by booster gangs, some are by police, and some by corpo army, so those guys can be a bit of a pain in the ass. Now, they won't care if you hit somebody in the face in a fist fight, because it happens all the time in Night City, but if you pull out the gun and start shooting or, start driving over people with your car, they will try to gun you down. I am not sure how we lose the police once we have them on us, and if there is a fine that we have to pay later, or is it just shoot on sight. Now, dynamic weather won't affect gameplay, but people will react to it like they did all the way back in The Witcher 1, where they pull out the umbrellas and hide below something. Also, they're using weather and music to paint the picture in certain missions, so keep that in mind. Some missions are going to have that heavy rain, some won't, some will be set during the day, some during the night. I think that change is going to be somewhat either automatic, or you have to wait during the certain time to start the mission. Players will be able to craft pretty much any usable item, but no clothing or cyberware, but you will be able to craft modifications for your outfits, cyberware and weapons, and you can decide how those things look. Also, car racing won't just be a mini game with traditional racing, but will add a touch of Cyberpunk there, so expect traps in a sense, and people probably shooting you so they can win. Maybe we can have some sort of nitro to really see the speed of the car, but that is yet open for discussion. They were also asked about cyber pets. At the time they couldn't answer, so as I said with everything, they're either planning it, testing it to see if they could implement it, and does it have a point? Keep in mind, they were not talking about Flathead, the robot techies will have, so that's going to be useful, because Flathead is a tool and will be very useful in specific situations if you go with a techie build. When it comes to destruction, assets will be destroyable, but not to a huge extent. We won't be able to mow down an entire district to the ground. And they are also creating equal opportunities for each playstyle. They won't favorize one or the other, or any other class. Now, for the end, we will touch on cyberware and animations. Every major character in the game will have their own animations like movement, conversation, and combat. One crucial thing was also dialogue and skipping dialogue, because this game won't have traditional cutscenes, it's all going to be kind of a one thing. So in a sense, skipping stuff is not recommended. But it seems they found a way to pull it off, so maybe there will be an option for a shorter and longer, more detailed explanations depending on, us, but this is just speculation for now. Also, guess what? Sex scenes are done with a lot of mocap, so this means people had to act it out, which is really cool. I'm interested in seeing how it actually looks like. Now, regarding cyberware, some cyberware will only be available at the Ripper Doctor, so for example, he installs the Mantis Blade, and then we are able to customize that either on the spot and replace some parts. Besides, Mantis Blades we've seen are probably going to get an upgrade when we go through the game, like different blades, faster combat, who knows, but there's so many options we can have with each and every build. We also have a very cool upgrade called Sandevistan, which will make us move as fast as the animals we've seen in the deep dive video. It will also make everything around us go slower, with the exception of those roided up animals. Their movement was replaced by normal movement, so if you don't have Sandevistan they will be faster, but if you have that, they will move at normal speed. They won't slow down, but they will move at normal speed, and everything around you will slow down because you will be fast, really fast, which is an amazing animation achievement, to be honest. Also, V starts with the most basic set of augmentations. It will include a translator, but it only translates common languages like Spanish and Japanese, but for Creole we will have to buy an upgrade. And for the extra info, they mentioned that they want to add modding tools in the game, but they're not ready to make any declarations about it. Also, it seems that the old version of Chippin' In will be in the game. We just have to be patient just for a little longer. They will share more about the music soon. Also, there will be a lot of different NPCs character models, which will definitely make immersion a lot easier and will definitely have a lot more models than The Witcher 3 had. They also don't want to add too many to tank the performance of PC and console systems. And that's it, we have a ton of info. Finally, after weeks of nothing, we have so much info to read from, and I will leave a link to this post down below, so check it out. And that's it, tell me down below what you think about this, and smash that like and subscribe button for more Cyberpunk 2077 news. Also join our Discord and Twitter community if you want to continue a discussion there. This is LKM signing out, and stay breathtaking everyone, bye bye.